Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mr. Scruff, the Ninja Tuna, bringing to you another wonderful Link to the Past race. Today, being Miscellaneous Monday, we are doing Enemizer. With that, basically, every enemy will be shuffled, every boss will be shuffled. Unfortunately, not with each other, so no overworld Trinex. Sigh. But one day, maybe one day. Anywho, we've got Julo Ninja, Plasma Kappa, Frostbite 3030, and Ace 0187 bringing up the racers today. This is going to be one heck of a race. All of these runners are fantastic in their own right, so I'm expecting a lot of fun shenanigans. We have today tracking Irritable Penguin and the 3X. So throw out some love for these wonderful trackers. They're going to go ahead and push buttons to let you know exactly what people have. And with that, we are off to the races. First chest in Link's house, it's the flute. Julo giving us the little war cry of his people right off the bat. Ooh, quick map check. We've got a Pendant of Wisdom up there in Tower of Hera, 5-6 crystal in Desert, and a normal crystal in Eastern. Just gonna hear that fluty toot toot for a little bit as Julo has fun with the ocarina. Ace and Julo heading the Uncle route, while we've got Frostbite and Plasma going the more conventional route, checking Lumberjack and then heading to Lost Woods. Let's see which one pays off. So far, Tree Pole, not too good, but man, Uncle is loaded. I guess stealing money off of corpses actually works some of the time. Hey, don't do that, kids. Oh, and we got ourselves a bottle in the escape route and only 10 arrows over on Lumberjack, so not gonna fight Aga for those arrows unless they really, really want them. Now, moseying over into our Lost Woods. As you can see, things are still enemized, so we're picking up whatever we can. Let's see what our first item grown out of the ground is gonna be. Will it be good? Ooh, it's another potion. Alright, hey, red goo is always appreciated. This will definitely make it easier for Plasma and Frostbite to go ahead and check Sick Kid once they venture into Kakariko. Unfortunately, the only one with bombs right now is Ace Zero. So he's going to be the only one to actually blow anything wall-wise. So hopefully they will actually be able to get some bombs elsewhere. 20 bucks just in the Thieves' hideout, so not going to be too good, but, you know, if they don't find any bombs, at least Julo can buy some. Frostbite and Plasma are getting pretty close with their rupee count. They're just 9 off. So if they can go ahead and find just a little bit more cash, or if they're lucky enough to go ahead and find a bomb, then it is kosher. And I hope you guys are enjoying that wonderful ocarina, because I have a feeling we're going to be hearing it for quite some time. Frostbite actually doing the right play here, noticing that there was a fish sitting there right on the way to Lost Woods. It's got to be careful because that mini Helmasaur is not going to be kind. It wants that fish. You turn that in, and bam, you got yourself some money. As far as the well goes, we had lots of money and a lamp and a sword, so 2/3 of our Aga care package out of the way. Let's hope this is going to be kind and not give us an Aga seed, but go ahead and throw those salutes in chat. We got ourselves the Rudy Toot Toot Flute. And there goes Frostbite turning in his fish, getting bombs, money, arrows, magic refill, all the fun stuff. For A0 and Blindset, we've got ourselves the Cane of Burna, a shovel, a heart piece, and Blunick. So not bad. You know, you got some versatility there. Now we're gonna go ahead and see back of Blinds is just a pot shield. That is the Fisher Price shield, the pot lid, whatever you want to call it. So with most of this out of the way, it's actually doing fairly good. I gotta say, things are turning out well for our runners here. Just a heart piece on the bottle vendor, so nothing too extravagant. But we should be seeing next up our chicken coop and our back of Kakariko tavern check. Oh wait, we already did that one. So chicken coop. That's the one that we still need. Speaking of, Julo Ninja is going to go ahead and try for the wonderful chicken clip, and gets it! This is a blessed seed. We will not have any problems today. And more money. Ooh, man. That's pretty evil, going in there and stealing the old lady's life savings. Super, super, super mean. But it's alright. Sick kid, you're not going to take much from him. He's just got that single rupee. So, alright. Everything in Kakariko is done with. Good news is we've got a shovel, so we go ahead and get that wonderful little bit of fetch quest out of the way super early. Next up, we're probably going to go ahead and see what's over on the library, as well as the maze game. That'll tell us if we're going to go ahead and check out South Shore from there, go up the mountain. Since we got that flute, it should go ahead and give us easy access to not only get the old man, but check what's inside Spec Rock. And always having that early save spot with the old man makes routing a bit easier later, so it might be a good thing to go with. Now, of course, with the flute, it's going to be a whole lot easier to move around, because God only knows it's a whole lot better to go ahead and just fly everywhere than to just walk. I mean, this is speedrunning. Until we get the boots, that's going to be our best option for movement. Now let's see which one of our guys is going to be the first one to head down to our wonderful maze game first. Pretty much everyone just tracing every bit. We've got a couple of high fives already going back and forth. So let's see who's going to be the first one to actually head down. It looks like it's Frostbite. He's going to go ahead and give us our first look at the library and at the maze game. So, what do we have in the room of literature? It is arrows. I guess that kind of works. Frostbite beat a little ballsy, going ahead and going with the not gonna check strats. But just a heart container, a little bit of an upgrade from the vanilla, so we're gonna pass. 4 hearts, though, I honestly would go back and get it, but yeah, that's just me. Now, Plasma Kappa, he's gonna go ahead and check it. I'm thinking he might go ahead and pick it up, since he's already there, and yeah, this early game, you want those heart containers. These guys are darn good runners, so chances are good they won't even need it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. A Fleet Spot only giving us more arrows. Of course, we can pick it up. I mean, we have none, so good to go ahead and stock up when we can. So with that, we get Frostbite giving us a save and quit. We're going to go ahead and check out South Shore. He's going to pick up his flute and be very upset that he didn't... Yeah, there's his Rage Slash. The fact that he didn't pick that up first, he's like, eh. But the good news is since he has that sword, he's going to go and check out Uncle and probably do the front of escape while we're at it. So we're going to see 3 new checks at that point, and if we actually get the small key, we may see 4 more. Now, on to the other racers. We've got Julo Ninja that's over in the desert area. He checked the desert ledge, and it was just a couple of wild blueberries growing up in the desert there. Plasma Kappa doing the same thing, getting that flute and give us a little bit of a Rage Slash. That's why it's always good to check Link House, folks. Checking out the Agina's Cave. Now, fun thing with this one, if you talk to that guy right back there, Mr. Old Man Agina, he will actually give you one of 4 different flavor texts, which is also just a wonderful thing that these developers have put in just to make the game a little bit more interesting. One of which I absolutely adore, called, "I once farted so bad, I made all the jazz hand guys run away into the sand. So I've dubbed it the Fart Cave. And now you know, and knowledge is power." Anyway, going over to the dam, we've got ourselves some more bombs, so not going to be too low on those. We're going to go ahead and see what is the sunken treasure. And yes, Frostbite is going through the front of escape. Got to be careful, because that looks kind of treacherous. Spikes are kind of evil. No one's going to want those bombs. They've been underwater. They won't work. So, we are going to see what is the first chest. Ooh, just a map. Okay, so, if we find the small key here, this is going to be a whole lot better for Frostbite, because that will guarantee that we can get 5 items going through the rest of Escape. If he doesn't, though, that means it's going to be either lamp-locked, which thankfully he has, or it's going to be glove-locked. Now, time for the wonderful... Well, I guess I can't call it Mini Moldarm Cave. black squiggly thingies. We got the flippers, 20 bucks, more bombs, more arrows, and a book. So we are now wet and literate. Oh, speaking of glove, that is a glove for frostbite in the front of escape. So that is going to make sure if he doesn't find the key here, he can easily get to the back of escape and get what he needs out of those last 3 checks. Ace is going ahead and just doing the water checks right now, getting that out of the way. Nothing on Lake Hylia, so we don't have to worry about coming back for that. But he is going to go ahead and check the man under the bridge, aka Hobo. We'll see if he's going to be a true hobo or if he's going to be some weird entrepreneur that just likes to hang out under dark, damp places. And just a heart container for frostbite, so he's definitely not going to try and death warp. Better to go ahead and go through the back and just hope for the key. And looks like we're just getting a bit of love from that man under the bridge, saying, hey, thanks for dropping by, here's some love. Plasma's going to go ahead and activate his flute and then fly up to the mountain with Ninja, most likely. But Ninja is rescuing the old man. While Ace is going to check out Ice Rod Cave. Good play on that point. This is one area that you do not want to orphan because it is Sphere 0. And God only knows if you orphan one of those, it's going to bite you in the rear. Meanwhile, we've got, our second glove on Old Man! Woo, buddy! And we've got Red Mail in Ice Rod Cave, so that's going to make sure that Ace is set for defense. And we've already got Titan's Mitts in no mode. So basically, once we have our runners fly up to Death Mountain and check out the front of Escape, we will be set for Dark World access as long as we can find that Moon Pearl. Assuming that Moon Pearl is not going to be stuck somewhere weird, we shouldn't have to worry about seeing Agate today. And in Spec Rock, we've got a whole bunch of nothing, so don't have to worry about that. Top of Spec Rock is also a whole bunch of nothing. But Julo Ninja, now with that glove, will be able to go ahead and check out the back of Escape. Gonna pick up that red tunic as well. Oh, and that was a bow in the Dark Cross, so ooh, that opens up and completes Eastern for us. Since that is a crystal, that's something we can do uber quick. That is going to give us 3 more items and some crystal progression. So yeah, that's definitely what Frostbite's going to be heading over for now. That is a smart move. Now this is the point where we hope that we find ourselves the Moon Pearl and not a cape or a mirror. Then again, if we find ourselves a mirror, then that's more than likely going to push us over to Misery Mire area, which is a whole lot better than Aga, that's for sure. Ah, good, and Julo is actually going to go ahead and head to the front of Escape. He will be the first to find his Titan's Mitts. Well, it looks like Plasma is going to go ahead and do the backside of Escape first. He's going to find his bow. Hopefully that does not deter him from going into the front of Escape, because he could very well orphan that other glove in the front of Escape if he decides to just nope out and then go check out Eastern. Saha's Closet, unfortunately, not giving us much, so don't have to worry about that. Julo's got to be real careful, though. The spikes, no matter what armor you're wearing, is going to do 1 heart of damage. And at 5 hearts, that's going to be pretty quick. Alright, Frostbite making his way into Eastern. We're going to get our first dungeon play, where everyone else is going to be doing the escape sequence. We've got Ace and Plasma doing the back half, going to get their bow pretty shortly. Julo Ninja doing the front half, going to pick up his Titan's Mitts. I'm wondering who's going to be the one to make the play to go to the reverse side. Well, first chest coming up for Frostbite 3030. What do we get? Something good? It's a heart container. It'll do. You know, he's got blue mail and a decent amount of life now, so this is something you can kind of be comfortable with. And come on, Julo, pick that up. It's Titan's Mitts. Alright, so we've got ourselves 2/3 of the puzzle for both Aga and Dark World access. We're quite literally just missing that Moon Pearl, a second sword, or a cape. So this is going to be the gamble. Which one will we find first? Big key for Frostbite 3030 in Eastern Palace, so that's going to go ahead and let him get to the big chest super easy. Now, let's see if this is going to be a kind Eastern and give us the next 2 items up front, so we don't even have to worry about going to the vanilla big key chest. Flippers themselves were in the mini Moldorm cave along with the Book of Medora, so everyone is literate and swimmable. Pretty quick work out of that wonderful little Stalfos room. Gets the hook shot! Alright, so Paradox Cave is in order, and as soon as Frostbite picks up that glove from the old man, he will also be able to do a Super Bunny Cave. That won't be in Logic, but if he finds the Moon Pearl in Paradox, then that's a quick 1-2 punch right there. And just as I feared, Plasma Kappa and A0 both decided to go into Eastern, leaving that glove from the front of Escape. So Julo Ninja and Frostbite will be more than likely the only 2 to get Titan's mitts for at least the next 10 to 15 minutes. Plasma Kappa and Ace will more than likely go ahead and head back to the mountain after getting that hook shot, thinking, hey, we've got ourselves 8 checks on the east side Death Mountain. Why bother with front? And there's only 2. And Julo Ninja gets his bow. Will probably be joining the rest of us over in Eastern. Let us see what we've got over in the Vanilla Big Key chest. It's Ether! Alright, so that is a 33% chance of getting into one of the dungeons, if not both. Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. We still don't know what they are, if it's going to be a crystal or if it's going to be a pendant. So, may not be necessary. I mean, we still have 2 pendants left in the world, so who knows? We will, hopefully soon. Very good play with the Ether there, making sure to freeze everybody so you don't end up having to, well, deal with all of that nonsense. Frostbite is going to go ahead and climb that up and see what we've got. Ooh, Plasma making the risky play of not going back for that Ether. So if Ether is required, he's going to be a little bit behind on that. If it's not, then that's one heck of a Galaxy Brain play. Alright, having to deal with all those annoying little bits. Got the snakes, got the rat, got the little bouncy statues. I like to call them mini Armos. Oh, and we're getting blind in our first fight. Heck yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Now, fun thing here, even though this is Enemizer, most people thinking, you know, I've got bow, I'm gonna head immediately over there. You don't need the bow in Enemizer because, as you noticed, there are no Igor. So, don't really need it. Oh, man, Julo Ninja. Oh, fighting that Moon Pearl and Waterfall Fairy, making the uber brain play. We got ourselves Dark World access 17 minutes in. So, Aga is 100% dead. Plasma and Frostbite getting their first crystals, though. So, a little bit of progression lead, but Julo is definitely in the right spots to make the right plays. Checking the ledge, nothing but a heart piece, but just 50 rupees short. So, not going to be able to check on what Zora's got, but may be able to come back a little bit later. But yeah, Julo is going to go ahead and take that Moon Pearl and vamoose. Now, this will be the piece de resistance. Will Frostbite run over and grab those flips in that book from Mini Moldorm Cave? It looks like he is doing South Shore, so that is going to be the right play. Meanwhile, Julo Ninja is going to go ahead and head into our wonderful Skull Woods. Funny enough, this is actually talked about being one of the best dungeon/overworld checks to do because it's so dang easy. Now, over on Plasma Kappa's side, as I feared, he is going to go ahead and check out Paradox Cave. Unfortunately, we know already that's not going to have the Moon Pearl. So he's got to go ahead and head back to Waterfall Ferry to get that stuff before he can go anywhere. Woof. Julo not having much luck in that room, though. Nothing but fire rollers. That's going to be a pain in the butt. I can guarantee it. It's going to be a pain. It's a smart move, bringing in out of that Kena Burna. Try and get that statue as close as possible before popping that, so he can actually have some invincibility. Accidentally blocks off one of the little fire rollers. Oof. That is not good. Well, let's go ahead and see what we got in Paradox. It is the single arrow. Oh, and the hammer. Okay, this is... Oh, this is kind of bad for Plasma, but good at the same time. He's got his Dark World access through the Hammer Glove combo, but he will more than likely orphan those Titan's mitts in the front of Escape until late in the game. Let's just hope he decides to go and check the front of Escape before anything else, because technically that is Sphere Zero. As long as he's got a weapon, he can go ahead and traverse there. And bombs do count. Now, as far as the other items, we've got ourselves our second shield and our second sword, so he is definitely set on those. Frostbite was able to go ahead and get into the water after those flips. Thankfully, does not fake flip, so don't have to deal with that, but he is going to get his Moon Pearl. So now it's just a matter of him finding that second glove up on the mountaintop. Meanwhile, Ace Zero, following Plasma Kappa's shoes, will be getting that hammer, as well as the Master Sword and the Fire Shield. Oh, and Frostbite does have enough money for Zora, so we should be seeing that here shortly. Huzzah! Ooh, that was a red meringue over in Skull Wood, so that's one of the two items down. And just to verify with chat, no, Drooling Ninja did not get the hookshot yet. He has not made it over to Eastern, so he is not going to see that for a little bit. Oh, unfortunately for Frostbite, getting a little bit of a life lesson, only getting 20 bucks for that 500 investment. Meanwhile, Ace is going to go ahead and pick up his Fire Shield and his Master Sword. Looks like Plasma is heading over. He's going to get his Moon Pearl here shortly. So he too will have Dark World access. Frostbite going to go ahead and activate his flute and head up the mountaintop. Will be pleasantly surprised. Now the plus with Frostbite here, since he went ahead and completed Eastern first, he's got that hook shot. When he gets the Titan's mitts off the old man, he'll be able to go ahead and check not only Paradox, but he'll also be able to go over to Tower of Hera, because he will find that hammer. Tower of Hera, however, is just a pendant, so he may not go for it. But seeing as how the seeds this last few weeks have been, there may be something good in Tower of Hera. Let's just hope it's not a sword. Ah, getting ourselves our wonderful Ether Tablet check. It's nothing, but we're getting a ped check! Oh no! Oh no! Alright, well, everybody. I hope you're wanting a ped seed, because you got one. Yes, for all the didn't notice, that was the Ice Rod. Since we've got a Crystal Turtle Rock, that is definitely going to be necessary. 5-6 at Thievestown, Green Pendant Skullwoods, and Pendant of Power Pod. So, hope you folks are ready for an all dungeons minus Aga. Now, here's the fun part. Since this is Boss Shuffle, we may not need it. If we are lucky, we could have both Trinexes in GT basement. And, well, actually, no, I take that back. It's very rare. We may not need it. I'm actually going to have to try and figure out if this would be possible or not. Yep, since we've got ourselves our full boss shuffle, that will guarantee at least one Trinex somewhere. So if it is Trinex basement. You know, if we get ourselves a wonderful ice Trinex, and it is not, like the GT Big Key is not stuck behind it, we don't have to worry about it. Anyway, enough with the fun stuff there. We're in Thieves Town for Julo Ninja. Not finding much in the way of stuff here, but ooh, we get to see our wonderful Vidi boss over there. This is honestly an awesome play for Ace Zero, since those little eyeballs will go ahead and follow you wherever you go. You don't need to drop down to whack on those eyes. You can safely avoid Vidi's lightning shock just by doing exactly what Ace is doing. It's like whack-a-mole. Alright, we've got our dungeon items for Big Key and Small Key in Thieves Town. So we are on our way to the back. Since Julo Ninja does not have that hammer, he is not going to be able to check the big chest, but as long as we don't find both the map and the compass before, well, after fighting blind, we're kosher. Ah, Plasma Kappa, giving us a check at Bumper Ledge. Unfortunately, just a heart container, so nothing too interesting there. But Ace is taking down all little tiny eyeballs, giving Vidi a run for his money. Thankfully, he's got 30 arrows, so this is going to be a quick shot. Fire 8 into that eyeball, and you are good. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. And it's down. All right. So, good news for Ace. He may actually be a step ahead of the curve, because if that ice rod is required, he's got 1 foot in the right direction. If it's not, though, sadly, that's a little bit of a waste. This has been another counting game with Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. Alright, let's see what we got in Thieves Town. Attic, it's the other boomerang! For speedrunners, it is so much better. For random fans, it is not. Splash deletion all the way. And Ace is go ahead and set himself with a death warp. He's just got to be real careful not to let any of those sneak past. 1 hit, and he is... Frostbite, although he is going to go ahead and do what I'm thinking he's going to be doing, checking out Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave, should also give us our medallion requirement for Turtle Rock. So that'll tell us which one we are needing to look for. So far, we just got 20 bucks and a heart piece, so nothing too great just yet. But A0 is in the basement of Hera. We'll see if we've actually got something decent down here. Woohoo! Half magic. Not progression, but darn good for this part of the game. That is one piece of convenience you definitely want. Alright, checking out Hookshot Cave. Just got to deal with the little tiny jellies right there. Getting 3 hundo. Man, whoever's stashing cash needs to not put it in such an easily accessible area. Get ourselves some magic powder. The mirror! Woohoo! That's good so far. And the swagnet. So, 2 out of 4 decent ones, unless you want to say swagnet's even better. We're making progress. And Mothula is the Thieves Town fight, so not having to worry about Ice Rod just as of yet. Plasma Kappa just going back to fight the boss right off the bat. Just getting this down so he can go ahead and take his leisurely time clearing out the rest. Now, will we see if there's an item here? There is! So good news for Julo Ninja. He is not going to have to worry about that dang chest in the back. So he's out of there. Oh, and Plasma not even caring. He is just making that risky play. Since there's only one item in the back, and we know that's the boomerang, he's not even going to bother. So good routing for Plasma Kappa. Got a really good amount of sync between those two. Look at that. A0 finally picking up his mirror, or his Moon Pearl. Shiny objects are difficult. I'm finally going to be able to join the rest of us and being, hey, we got Dark World access. Dig game, giving us 20 bucks. At least it's the 4th dig. That is kind. Thank you, Mr. Gravedigger. Better to only waste 4 digs on 20 bucks than, 30. Poor Ace. Since he has enough money, he's gonna go ahead and check Zora and be very disappointed like the rest of us. Stumpy, once again, handing out his fingers, giving us 10 arrows. Meanwhile, Julo is giving Jeremiah the world tour. Gonna go ahead and take that little bullfrog around and turn him in after Hive Cave. Now, Frostbite's gonna have a much better trip because, heck, he'll be able to go ahead and do everything in one go. And unfortunately for Plasma Kappa, because he never did the front of escape, he never got those Titan's mitts, so he will not be seeing what Jeremiah's got for a little bit. But Hype Cave, let's see if it is going to live up to its name, or if we're going to have to rename it. So far, just a heart piece. Another heart piece. Another heart piece! Oh, I was hoping it was another heart piece. Yay! It's normal Hype Cave. Good job, everybody. Alright, now we finally got Ace in the Dark World. He's gonna go ahead and check out our wonderfully disappointing Hype Cave right off the bat. Julo Ninja not saving and quitting just yet. He is gonna go ahead and take Jeremiah on that full world tour. Let's see where he's gonna head next. Where are you going, silly Billy? Oh, he's taking the long route. Because he didn't get that hammer, he's not going to be able to go ahead and go through the quicker route to the pod area, but he's got flips. Excuse me. So, he can do this. The easier route, of course, would just be to go up to those pegs and then go south, being a little bit quicker, but hey, 6 one way, half dozen the other. Plasma Kappa taking the time to go ahead and pick up our extortionist, Kiki. Gonna go ahead and dip into pod since they have the bow and the hammer. They'll be able to go ahead and go through. Funny enough, this is one of the few dungeons that actually requires some items, not because of enemies, but because of static placement. You need to shoot that Igor statue, and you need to pound those little tiny whack-a-moles, I want to call them. Yeah, you gotta do that to get to the boss. So, Jula finishing up the pyramid check while Frostbite is done with Thieves Town. Did the same thing that Plasma Kappa did, just went back, took care of the moth, and headed on out, saving some time. Jula Ninja finding the cape off a pyramid, so that is good for him for a little bit more safety. Since we know that there's nothing on Bumper Ledge that's not 100% necessary, especially since they've already got the cane of Berna. But, most people like using the cane aside from the cape, and now they've got the choice to do whichever the one they want. But anywho, we've got ourselves a Plasma Kappa in pod. Let us see what we've got. Looks like the first chest was bow-locked. So glad he's got that bow. But seeing as how it's Enemizer, it's not really bow-locked anymore. Now the good news for Plasma Kappa is because he's got that hammer, he doesn't have to worry about death warping. He can go ahead and just hammer right on through. Unfortunately, he's getting all the bad guard spawns. Oy. It's no longer Palace of Darkness, this is Palace of Guards. Alright, Jula Ninja visiting our wonderful catfish friend. What does he have? It's money. So both of our fishy friends are paying us off. Kind of rude, but kind of nice at the same time. Frostbite turned in our wonderful little smithy friend immediately thanks to that hammer. And we get a heart. Alright, so Plasma Kappa finding 2 small keys over on the quote-unquote bow-lock side. Basically meaning that, yeah, you needed to go to that side first. You couldn't progress, no matter what. Couldn't even go to the back if you wanted. I mean, you could, it'd just be out of logic. But anywho, Frostbite doing our magic bat check. Sprinkle some powder on him and he'll give you something. Yeah, it looks like they're just some explodey bits. Mullet Mansion living up to its name so far, only getting small keys. Yep, another small key right there, so all of our fun's going to be in the back. Now it's time for Frostbite to go ahead and play Whack-A-Mole again, get rid of those hammer pegs, and take our purple chest over to Gary. Turn in his lunchbox and give us something. Ooh, Julo Ninja taking the time to go over to Misery Mire. We will see what that medallion requirement will be. And it is Quake! Alright, so Quake and Bombos are the two medallions that we are going to need for this game. Unfortunately, we don't have either one! Oh, but we've got ourselves a Fire Rod over in Mire's Shed. Hot diggity daffodil. That is going to give Julo a nice little bit of progression there. Can go ahead and head over to Skull Woods, get that green pendant out of the way if he wishes. That also gives him access, well, once he actually finds the hammer, that'll give him full clear ability to everyone's favorite Ice Palace. And now that Julo's actually got some progression stuff, it's about time to go through and beat some monsters. So, first up, he's gonna go to Eastern, grab himself the hookshot, and get that first, well, second for him, crystal out of the way. More than likely, well, he's still gonna need that hammer. Hopefully he will find that shortly. Hookshot is definitely gonna lead him in the right direction, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa, going through the backside, finds the big key. Still nothing too exciting in Palace of Darkness. But, you know, everything should be fun in the dark, so should see that here in just a moment. Always play responsibly. Alright, just some bombs to start us off with. And this Dark Maze just being super kind, not giving us nothing but chickens. Chickens and a floating owl. Ooh, and the Bombos medallion. Okay, so that's Turtle Rock access available for us as soon as we find that Cane of Samaria. So that is a plus. And boots! Alright, so we are finally in race mode. These folks can actually go everywhere they want to, just super quick. Plasma taking the Quick Death Warp. Whoosh! Heading right back to fight off whoever is going to be in Helm's sore spot. Meanwhile, Frostbite is going to go ahead and deliver that wonderful lunchbox, so we will see what is in that chest. This could help him, since he's the only one that's got the mirror. If this is something like the cane, this is going to be perfect. Nope, it's just his drink. Gotta give him back, dude. He's thirsty. He's been sitting out in that hot heat all day? Come on. Super rude. Well, now it's time to go ahead and check out our Bombos tablet. And let's see if this is going to be silly and actually give us Quake. Nope, just more pointy sticks. Alright, so that's Ether Tablet and Bombos Tablet out of the way. We don't have to worry about those checks, but with Hammer, Cape, and Cane of Burna in our inventory, that means Spike Cave is within logic. And if the seed is anything like the ones we've seen this last week, we will have something very crucial in there. So probably gonna see Quake or Cane in there if it's not one to be too kind. But as far as items go, we are just a Quake and a Cane away. Since we've got that Ice Rod on Ped, we still don't know for sure if it's 100% necessary. Since the game does have it set on full boss shuffle, we know that none of the pendant dungeons will be Trinex. However, if we are lucky, we can have the very bottom of GT with that wonderful ice room be the only Trinex. If that's the case, you don't got to worry about that ice rod. Unless, of course, GT Big Key happens to be in those 3 chests behind him. But hey, that's 3 out of 22. That's some good odds. So, we are... Wait, blind. Hold up. We're on the full boss shuffle, which means we could have 2 of any. Oh boy. Alright, so, let's hope that Trinex is not one of our 2 bosses. We know that blind is one of them, so that's not going to be a problem. So, Plasma Kappa taking down our second blind fight. Funny enough, Eastern and Pod both having our blinds. It's like he kind of got lost. Must have vision problems. Ba-dum-bumps! Don't worry, I won't do any more puns. So, alright, Plasma Kappa giving us 2 crystal dungeons and 1 pendant dungeon out of the way. We've got Ace Zero finishing up his second crystal dungeon. Oh, excuse me, no. Yes, crystal. I can read. Don't worry. Meanwhile, Frostbite is in our wonderful Swamp Palace. Since he's got that hookshot and that hammer, he can go ahead and full clear it, no problem. Ooh, Plasma taking the initiative and jumping into Desert. This is good because Desert is the other 5/6. This does go ahead and give him the option to pop into the pyramid crack and get those 2 items. Probably gonna have something, more than likely. I mean, logic kind of pushes you that way anyway, but we'll see. Frostbite, over on his side, he is not going to bother with left side swamp at this point. I don't blame him unless you find, I'd say at least 2 dungeon items in the first 2 chests. Don't even bother with it. Just go straight to the back. Ooh, that was a mushroom over on Plasma Kappa's side. 1 more fetch quest item. Since we've already located powder, it'd be kind of silly to go ahead and save it for fake powdering. Especially since, you know, no Canis Maria. But no biggie. Jilo Ninja taking down that blind, getting the crystal. Now let's see if he decides to go up the mountain. He's got that flute. I think he's going to do it. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, he's going to go ahead and grab his hammer. Toot sweet. Check over Hookshot Cave, grab his mirror, and hopefully give us a little bit more better routing so we can find out where to go next. Alright, 10 arrows in the waterfall room for Swamp. So, chances are good. We're just going to have 1 item over on the left side swamp there. Unless Argus wants to be... Well, Argus's spot, I should say. Doesn't want to be kind and then give us the big key. Dungeon's been fairly decent, at least. We got 1 item already. See if we can actually find our other progression. We're still looking for Quake, and we need that Canis Maria. Ooh, and we got ourselves a Vanilla Argus. Now, notice here that there's no water in this room, and that is strictly because of Enemizer. Whenever you've got Enemizer set up, it will go ahead and get rid of that texture, because some of the bosses don't play well when they're scooting around in water. Frostbite going very quickly with the puffballs, though. And Plasma Kappa just using that Bombo strat, not even gonna bother fighting off anything else. But nice for Frostbite getting that 3rd crystal, technically takes the lead. Until we get to a boss where, you know, Trinex is there, we're basically in Schrodinger's mode. Will we need Ice Rod? Probably. Alrighty. And Frostbite is going to head back to the left side swamp. Looks like there is going to be possibly something decent over there. No, I won't know for sure until he actually, checks them. But this early in the game, you don't want to orphan anything that you don't have to. And there's kind of the thing that once you get into, like, Sphere 2 location checks, the more you orphan, the more likely it's going to be bad. And another vanilla boss. Thank you, Landmo, for just shattering our hopes and dreams. And Plasma Kappa doing an excellent job with the near vanilla strats. NMG runners will go ahead and use the bow to take care of Landmo because it is, of course, faster. It is just painstakingly slow and difficult otherwise. But there goes Plasma Kappa's third crystal, so he has kind of technically stolen the lead back from Frostbite. 4 dungeons out of the way. Still needs to go ahead and find his Fire Rod and his Mirror, but thankfully the only one that's got the Fire Rod right now is Julo. The only one that's got the Mirror is Frostbite, so they're going to have to kind of converge somewhere along the way. But while we've got people kind of waiting for new checks here, just go ahead and shout out our wonderful runners here. Dulo Ninja, Plasma Kappa, Frostbite 3030, and Ace0187. They are all doing this free of charge for our entertainment. Please go ahead and give them a follow, assuming the links are wanting to work, which I don't think they are. But we'll go ahead and find their links for you. They all do wonderful, wonderful races, and all of them, I believe, are currently in the Link to the Past Randomizer League, which is now in its second week, this week being Ambrosia. Ambrosia meaning if you... Brain fart. Oh yeah, there we go. Standard mode. Thank you, Irritable Penguin. Shoutouts to our trackers, once again, Irritable Penguin and the Third X. Wonderful, wonderful trackers, making sure that I don't stumble over everything. But this week is Ambrosia, so if you guys are interested in some wacky shenanigans through standard mode, that is definitely the one to play. Essentially, you start off with a sword, you get told where boots are, and every boss is guaranteed to have one item. Not a dungeon item, but an item. So it makes routing really tricky. So, back to the fun action. We've got Plasma Kappa taking that big bomb over to the Pyramid Crack to see what exactly we've got hidden there, while Jula Ninja is finishing up his fight with Vidi. Gonna go ahead and get that pendant out of Hera. Frostbite 3030 is gonna go ahead and check out what is on the wonderful Lake Hylia and be sadly disappointed. It's just a heart piece. But hey, it's alright. That swamp did pay off going back in. Even though a sword is not progression, that tempered is going to make things a heck of a lot easier. And unfortunately for Plasma Kappa, that Pyramid Crack did not pay off. It was just basically refuel us. Now, he's gotta go see Catfish and, again, be just disappointed because, it's just 20 bucks. But, let's see, we've got Frostbite finishing up some of the water checks. Gonna be fluting away here shortly. Ace Zero still in pod, and Jilla Ninja checking out the basement of Hera. Gonna be getting that wonderful half magic here shortly. So, realistically, we're kind of still at an impasse. We need someone to take that initiative and basically go to Highest Palace. So as far as Jula Ninja is concerned, that's really the main thing he needs to do. If we find ourselves the cane, then we are good for one location. Frostbite, however, since he's got the mirror, he's going to be able to go ahead and check out Checkerboard Cave and get to the easier access of Desert. Now, hopefully we'll actually have a nice little Misery Mire area and have the key hidden, underneath the map. We've got our Quake Medallion sitting in Checkerboard, and that's just... that's a cherry on the topping right there. Frostbite is going to get that fire rod from the Mire Shed, though, so he's going to have a little bit more open. We'll be able to go ahead and pop over to Ice Palace if he so pleases, but since he's already here, why not go ahead and finish up Desert? It's a 5-6, kind of necessary. Meanwhile, Plasma is checking out Bonk Rocks, and more than likely going to go ahead and do King's Tomb if he hasn't already. Doesn't look like there's anything interesting in either one, so don't have to worry about that. But now it is time for our Mushroom turn-in. Check out the old lady, give her a little bit of fungus, and see what we've got. And yes, for people that were watching, Desert is boots locked. So Frostbite, unfortunately, will not be able to complete it until he finds those boots. Unfortunately for Plasma Kappa, once again, that mushroom did not give us anything decent. It was nothing but disappointment in the form of a lag. Ooh, Jula Ninja, go ahead and finish up our Spiral Cave. It was just more disappointment, so nothing to worry about there. And Frostbite finally picking up our checkerboard. It is bombs. So exciting. Now, as far as locations go, we still have our wonderful Spike Cave that everyone wants to kind of shun and ignore. I don't blame them. Spike Cave is kind of an annoying one-off location. Can't really get to it quite easily. It's a bit of time waste. You have to waste, magic, health, save and quit. And on the off chance it's nothing, which it most certainly is, it's just a dagger through the heart. Just, twist it. So, Chula picking up a fish for some reason. Huh. I guess he's gonna go ahead and go offer it to the mountain gods in the hopes that he can actually, enter Turtle Rock without a cane or boots. Finds out that it's finds out it's Plasma. Finds out it's Bombos. Can't do much else. But he will be finding his mirror and his swag nut here very shortly, along with his magic powder. Again, not necessary for item progression, because Magic Bat had nothing, but hey, it's convenient. Sprinkle fairy or anti-fairy with magic powdery goodness, and you get love. Ooh, Frostbite is going to go ahead and take the initiative, though, and check out our Ice Palace. So first one in there. This should go ahead and tell us if we've got our Cane or our Quake Medallion. Now, nice thing is we're of course not going to find the Cane in Turtle Rock. That's not going to happen. The seat's not broken, thankfully. But the way things are set, we could very well find the Cane in Misery Mire, just not on the place setting. I'm just gonna go ahead and refer to all the boss locations as their bosses from now on. Now, back to the fun. We have Jillo Ninja actually heading over to the GT area. He's gonna go ahead and drop down and do Spike Cave, so that is one more check we're gonna have knocked off on the list. This is good because, again, it's a one-off location. It's not something that a lot of people go for, and this very well could have our progression. If it is, this is going to go ahead and rocket him ahead of the game. He just needs to remember to check out for those boots. Since Plasma Kappa is the only one that decided to go ahead and, well, basically do pod at all, he's going to be the only one with boots for a little bit, but at the same time, he still hasn't done the front of escape. Oh man, I absolutely love being correct. That was the King of Samaria in our wonderful Spike Cave. So now it's the hunt for the medallions. Let's see, where could they be? I'm guessing Ice Palace, since that's really the only place left. Go ahead and give us a little bit of a dance with Viddy, blocking him off over the ledge so you don't have to worry about it. And eyeball is down. And I like it, chat. I like that. Keep up that attitude. I do want a vanilla Trinex in Turtle Rock. Especially with Quake. Yeah, sorry folks. This is the fun of being hosted in the US. We have to abide by that wonderful daylight savings nonsense. Don't worry, one day we will wise up like the rest of the world and abolish that stupidity. But for everyone else not in the US, everything will be an hour later since we decided to go ahead and bounce ahead due to daylight savings. So everything that's starting at the 2 p.m. Eastern race time for the rest of the world will basically just be 1 hour pushed ahead. Or I guess that would be 1 hour behind. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, Plasma Kappa, having fun with those little tiny tiles. Gonna be finding his half magic as well. Again, not progression, but darn good to have. And Frostbite doesn't look like he's actually found anything of use in Ice Palace yet, but that's really the only place that we could have at this point. There's nothing else that could really be anything. Now, thankfully, we've got our Tempered Sword here in Swamp, so damage-wise, we're pretty much set. All these guys can go ahead and do Master Sword Silverless, no problem, so it's not going to be an issue. And hey, look at that! It's Quake! So, rest in peace, Trolley Dreams. We will not have to worry about going into Turtle Rock for the Quake Battalion. So, realistically, we're going to be go-moding that place if we needed to. So, now we just have to go ahead and pray to the rando gods. Everyone put your palms together and look up to the skies. Pray to RNGesus. Please, let there be a vanilla Trinex. Alright, Plasma Kappa grabbing that cane of Samaria. Oh, and I obviously missed it. Apparently A0 and Plasma both have Bombos. I'm thinking that was in Desert, since they're the only two that actually have that knocked off. So, yeah, we're in no mode, pretty much. So, good news for the runners here. They probably won't have to worry about anything else. This is going to be interesting to see, though. The way things are set, just to kind of put things in perspective, with full boss shuffle running, we will have 2 bosses, or I should say 3 bosses that are 2 each, with 7 bosses of 1 each. We've already seen 2 blinds, so we know that's already off of there. We've seen 1 Landmo, we've seen 1 Vitreous, 1 Moth. And 1 Argus. That's right, we saw the little floaty boy. So, if fate is kind, they will go ahead and just give us 1 Trinex, again, in the basement of GT. If not, we very well could have 2 Trinexes. If it wants to be real mean, it could actually put 1 in the Landmo 2 area, which is hilarious, mind you. And yeah, that Floor Master, oof. Wall Master, Floor Hand. That Master Hand, we're going into Smash territory. Oofa. Yeah, Plasma is just not making the right choice here. He needs to go to the front of Escape to get that dang Titan's Mitts. Same with Ace Zero. Both are pretty much stuck in the same loop. Ace Zero not finishing up Pod, so not going to have that second pendant. So Plasma's got a little bit of a lead if we actually need that Ice Rod. So this is going to be pretty tricky for those two runners. Julo Ninja and Frostbite are going to have a bit of a lead just because they had those Titans mitts early on. Julo Ninja more so because he's got the Cane of Samaria, but seeing as how Frostbite's got Quake, I think that actually may be his downfall. Seeing that, hey, I've got Quake, I can go into Misery Mire. Maybe it's Vanilla. Maybe we'll have a Vanilla Cane. And then he'll just be disappointed like the rest of us. So, this is now a time to hope that both Ace and Plasma start thinking, what Sphere Zero location did I miss? So, brush up on your psychic powers, people. We need to send those messages. Oh boy. Plasma going back into Thieves Town thinking he missed something important in the back half. Not going to be very happy when he finds out it's just a boomerang. See, this is why it's always a good thing to go ahead and do the front of escape the moment you get the option. Because if it's not something good, you don't have to worry about it. If it is something good, well, you see the result. Ooh, that is actually pretty good for Ace Zero. He's going to be checking up. Looks like... Well, hold up. Kind of a roundabout way to do a spy cave check. What exactly is he doing? Did he forget he could just climb and take the portal that way? Oh no! There's our Trinex, folks. So, alright. We have secured that this is indeed a pet seed! Get those vuvuzelas out. Start blaring off noise. Doo-doo-doo-doo! So now Frostbite, knowing he knows that Trinex is definitely there blocking his path, he's going to go ahead and just bulldoze through and get everything. Ooh, Plasma making his way through Uncle. He is more than likely going to go ahead and do the front of escape here. Jula Ninja finishing up Swamp. Gonna hopefully go back for that Tempered Sword. And Ace Zero picking up his Cane of Samaria. Sadly doesn't actually open anything for him, but he is going to be happy once he finds those Titans mitts. So, alright folks, it is a race. Who is going to be the first one to get in proper go mode? We still need Cane of Samaria and Bombos. Well, and Ice Rod, of course. For Frostbite, we need Bombos and Ice Rod for Julo Ninja. Titans, Fire, and Ice, well, and Mirror, for Plasma, and pretty much the same for Ace Zero. So, it is now a race. Oh, I do agree with that, fair chat goer. Spike having progression is indeed the best. Plasma Kappa picking up those Titans and realizing there ain't nothing more in the front of escape, so he is outie. Alright. Let's see, where are these folks going to be going next? Yep, Plasma is heading over into the Mire area, going to be getting that Fire Rod. Hopefully, we'll go ahead and biggity bounce over to Ice Palace. grab that Quake and then head on back to Misery Mire. Poor Jula also finding that he kind of need boots to complete this dungeon. Surprise! Yep, Plasma Kappa wasted no time. Gonna be taking down that Mothula. Since he knows Ice Rod is on Ped, he is not taking that chance. Plasma Kappa may very well be the first one in go mode here. He's got 5 dungeons down, 2 of which being pendant dungeons. So once he gets that Ice Rod, it won't matter that, you know, Trinex is taking resident down there in the icy depths of heck. Julo Ninja finally making his way over to Pod, gonna be grabbing his boots and hopefully that pendant. Meanwhile, Frostbite is finishing up Pod, hopefully going to do the same. Has to be real careful about that spiky boy, because it's gonna be painful if he gets hit. Thankfully, he got through without a problem. Yes, nothing like a small spike to block your path in a very, 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 very thin hallway. Ooh, Ace is actually going to go ahead and do the ice play. So he's going to find his Quake and then be sadly disappointed to see a gigantic Trinex blocking his path. And sadly, not going to be getting our wonderful Helmicopter this round, but we are going to get the very dangerous dancing spiky boys. Which, thankfully, Half Magic and the Cane of Burnout does a lot of good. Unfortunately, low on mana kind of defeats that purpose. Good news is armor is going to help reduce a lot of that damage. And since this is enemized, those spikes are going to sit stationary. We don't have to worry about it. So he gets that big old bum out of the way, gets rewarded with some money, and the green pendant! Sadly, Plasma does not have the mirror, so he can't just directly go to Ped, but he can now pull it and get that Ice Rod. And thankfully for us, Frostbite is going to go ahead and finish up Pod, so he will get his next pendant dungeon out of the way. And Plasma Flute, and let's see if it goes to 3 for that pendant turn-in. Oh, nope, he's going to 5. Well, it's for the other pendant turn-in. Oh, isn't that a kick in the pants? Not even silvers or a sword. Thank you so much, Sassy. Plasma, please, you've got all 3 pendants. Go pull Ped. Please. Please. Alright, he's floating again. Let's see if it goes to 3. Yes! Alright, everybody. Once again, put your pet hype in chat, because in about 30 seconds we will have our Ice Rod from the pedestal. Meanwhile, Frostbite is enjoying his wonderful blind fight in one of the most annoying rooms you could fight blind, aside from Skull Woods. And welcome everyone from Speed Gaming. Thank you for the raid. You guys are just in time for our wonderful miscellaneous Monday Enemizer as Plasma Kappa is pulling the pedestal for the best item in the entire game, the Ice Rod. Da-na-na-na. Because indeed, we are, in fact, needing that Ice Rod. So Plasma is now 2 items away from Go Mode. He needs to go to Hookshot Cave to find his mirror, and he needs to go to Ice Palace to find his Quake. Once he does that, he will be in Giggity Go Mode. Oh, that's where Bombos was. Thank you, Jula Ninja. So alright, everyone has Bombos, so we're good with that. Everyone now has boots, so we're doubly good with that. And for anyone that is new to the wonderful Link to the Past scene, please feel free to go ahead and check out alttpr.com/en, and feel free to check out the randomizer itself for yourself. As long as you have a copy of the original Japanese version, it is free to play. You just basically load it up and make whatever you like. It is a hoot and a half to play, as you can see by these runners here, and there are tons of different modes that you can enjoy. Today's featured is Enemizer, so as you can see, all the enemies are shuffled as well as full boss shuffle. So we will have 2 of 3 bosses with 1 of the other 7 mixed somewhere within the boss locations. We won't know what's there until we actually get there. Ooh, Plasma Kappa making his way. Oh, nope, good. He's actually going to go ahead and get his mirror first. If Trinex is not vanilla in Turtle Rock, this will mean he can go ahead and finish this one up, no problem. But he still needs that Ice Rod. Oh wait, he's already got it. He needs a suitable tracking machine that will actually load. I've always been William Shatner. I hate to break it to you. Alright, Frostbite back in Desert Palace. Gonna go ahead and finish up that crystal. Still needs to go to Spike Cave for that Canis Maria and finish up the rest of those pendant dungeons for that Ice Rod. Julo Ninja finishing up his blind fight in Pod, while Ace is going to be sorely disappointed here in about 2 minutes. But once again, go ahead and give these wonderful runners a follow when you get a chance. We'll go ahead and post their Twitch pages here in just a moment, but they are definitely well-deserved of a follow. These guys are giving us some primo entertainment. I believe those will be correctly, well, things. So give them a click. If it works, perfect. If not, don't worry about it. So, alright. Ace finding that wonderful disappointment in the bottom of ice and zipping right out of there. Plasma in Turtle Rock. We'll see if we actually got something decent boss-wise here. Frostbite finishing up the desert, and Julo heading up the mountain. He's going to go ahead and do the same thing as Plasma, so good on him. Unfortunately, though, he does not have that Ice Rod, so if we've got a Vanilla Trinex, there will be more disappointment. Alright, Ace Zero, open up our Misery Mire. With that cane, he will be able to go ahead and finish it. Hopefully he decides to check out Mire's shed first so he can pick up that fire rod. Ah, nope, nope. He's just gonna go right in. Okay. Alrighty, two of our wonderful runners in Turtle Rock, making their way downtown, walking fast. Faces past and they're hopefully Trinex bound. Meanwhile, Frostbite is over in the Pyramid Crack, also getting more disappointment. We'll be getting that cape very shortly, though, so... Woohoo! Fighting our last sword in the lava chest room. That's gonna be butter for Julo Ninja. Big old fancy tin bomb pack for Ace Zero, so he's got a refill there. Unfortunately, he was already at max, so kind of a moot point. And smart move for Plasma Kappa going to the big chest here. More than likely going to go and check out Mimic Cave as well. Since he's still missing that one item, you really don't want to orphan any location. Which is exactly what we see over on Frostbite 3030's side. He's going to go visit Catfish and get a disappointing $20. And nifty thing on this one, as you see in Enemizer, some of those little blocks are actually missing. That's because some of the enemies that spawn on that side very well could be immobile. So you either may have to wait a while to get to them, or you couldn't reach them at all. So the developers were kind enough to remove those blocks for us. You know, so we can actually complete it. And for those wondering, Quake was in Ice Palace, Big Key Vanilla Chest. Vanilla Big Key Chest. I know words. English is good. Alright, and there is our fourth and final bottle for the seed. Also with red goo. Super delicious. Oh look, and we've got a vanilla Big Key in Mire. How kind. Frostbite going out of his way to give us all of the weird checks. Hopefully it will reward him with some silvers. Might be quite nice. Yeah, unfortunately just a heart container, but not one to scoff at it. Alright, and that is the rest of our laser bridge fun. It looks like Ace Zero also picked up the last item in Misery Mire, so he's going to go back to Viddy's spot and say hello to whatever boss we've got. Woo! That is one heck of a boss stab right there. Big old Spike Man. Alright, moment of truth time, Seed. Will we have Vanilla Trinex? Ooh, no, it's Cold Stare. Thankfully, we got Bombos. You want to whack this puffball a few times, light him on fire, and then he'll drop his wonderful item. And it's more money. So, still looking for that Quake Medallion. Plasma is going to need to go over to Ice ASAP to grab that. Since Ice and Swamp are the only two places he's got left, he will get there eventually, thankfully. Frostbite, though, finally making his way over to Tower of Hera? Uh-oh. Well, I mean, that's kind of a good thing. He needs to complete it, but let's hope he decides to do Spike Cave afterwards. Now, for Ace Zero side, is this going to be kind? Yes, it is! We have our first Moldorm! And only 3 eyes! That is disappointing. But with 3 whacks of that hammer, and Moldorm is out of there! Alright, Plasma Kappa making his way over to Cave 45, thinking, hey, Quake could be here. Why would it be in a dungeon? Alright, Julo Ninja on the Cold Stare fight. Butter melts everything. This is why it's called butter. But a spin slash and 3 slashes takes down Cold Stare. Those little puffballs are out of here. Alright, Julo Ninja got his Cane of Samaria. Now we can go ahead and start doing some other dungeons. He finally realized, hey, this may be a Ped Seed, so let's go ahead and blind pull a Ped. Plasma on his way over to Swamp Palace. Ace jumping into Turtle Rock with Frostbite finishing that Vidi Moldorm. So he will probably be following Julo Ninja here shortly after picking up the cane in Spike Cave. Now, seeing as how Quake is still kind of being the redheaded stepchild here for Plasma, he will more than likely go back in to pick up that 4th sword in the big chest. So, chances are good everyone's gonna find Butter. With Ace Zero finally getting over to Dark Death Mountain, he's gonna find his powder and his mirror here shortly. Frostbite taking down the big old eyeball right there. Gonna go back in for his half magic. Kind of be disappointed, but yeah, maybe he'll like it. Just gotta fire his way through some of these areas back here, and Julo should be set up pretty as you please to fight off our dancing spiky boys. Just gotta avoid all those spikes, because God only knows you have to have spikes in this room. Ooh, Julo Ninja going with the boomerang strats. Word to the wise, if you're ever stuck in an area where you can't use the bow or don't have a bow to kill Armos Knights, just use Cane of Burna. It's so much easier. So, hope you guys are prepared for about a 15-minute Armos fight. Whoa! Armos. Behave yourself. This is not major glitches category, alright? We need to disqualify that Armos Knight, dude. He just did the EG. I'm throwing a red flag on that Armos Knight. He needs to get out of here. He did it again! He's not even paying attention! Goodness. Everybody shun that Armos Knight for breaking the law. Shun! And there he goes again. My god, he just likes breaking everything. Well, back to the fun bits. Frostbite finally getting his cane. He is darn near in go mode. All he's missing now is that ice rod. He doesn't quite know where that ice rod is. But if he checks out Moth and then goes blind pole ped, then we're in business. Alright, in the time that it took Julo Ninja to finish that Armos fight, Plasma has made it all through Swamp. So, you gotta give Julo some swag points for taking down Armos Knights with the blue boomerang. Kudos to that man right there. And for all of those wondering, yes, you can indeed kill Armos Knights with blue boomerang. Is it recommended? God, no. And with that, we have a blind pole on ped. Julo is rewarded with the Ice Sticky. And as soon as he decides to head to Ice Palace, he will be in go mode. So we are all one item away. Plasma Kappa needing that Quake. Julo Ninja also needing that Quake. Frostbite and Ace needing that Ice Rod. We are slowly but surely making our way to the end of this seed. Will they get it? Julo not giving up on the one-off locations, still thinking, hey, we gotta go check all these areas. Thinking that Quake may very well be on Lumberjack since he didn't check it earlier. Thankfully, he will be surprised it's not there, so no Aggo 1 for him. And just as I suspected, Plasma is doing left side, so he will find that Butter Sword, making it a very fun Ganon fight. And pretty much just melting whatever other bosses he has to fight. Alright, Julo is still finishing up the one-off locations, hoping to find that Quake somewhere outside of a dungeon. Meanwhile, Plasma is about to grab that other item, find out, oh, well, nope, this is not the thing I'm looking for. Head over to the big chest, with Frostbite getting his big key. More than likely gonna go ahead and just finish up the dungeon. Ace making his way to Laser Bridge. Gotta go ahead and do the dash strat since he didn't pick up that mirror shield off of the Mushroom Lady. But doing a great job with that, only taking a few bonks, but not getting hit by any of the BMO size or laser eye thingies. Those things everybody hates. Plasma is finding his Butter Sword and is on his way over to Ice Palace. So hopefully we'll be able to grab that Quake uber quick and then be in go mode! So once again, thank you for staying to watch this entertaining race. If you're now tuning in, I have to apologize because you've missed 90 minutes of super fun mode. But it's alright, we're at the end of this race, and we are neck and neck with a bunch of these runners. It really is down to execution at this point on who is going to finish first. We've got our Julo Ninja in the top left, Plasma Cap in the top right, Frostbite 3030 in the bottom left, and Ace 0187 in the bottom right. All runners giving us a fantastic show. And also, again, shout out to our wonderful trackers putting out the time and effort to click those buttons for us. Mr. Irritable Penguin and the Third X, making sure we have all those buttons clicked in a timely fashion, so we know exactly what's going on and where and when. And back to the action, Mr. Plasma Kappa is indeed in nice balance. Gonna go make his way down to the Vanilla Big Key chest, find his Quake, and then dash right over to our Trinex fight. I have a feeling he's going to ask for help and then be pleasantly surprised when he has received it. No, almost, Plasma. That's not the Quake, but you are getting closer. And let's see if we're going to have Frostbite 3030 head over to Skullwoods next. He still can't complete Ice Palace, and he knows that. But now that he's got Bombos, he can go ahead and complete Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, he's not going to be finding what he needs up there, other than just that wonderful Butter Sword. So that's still going to put him a little bit behind. He needs to go to Skull Woods and finish that up. Meanwhile, Chulo just needs to go ahead and finish up Desert and then mosey over to Ice Palace to join Plasma Kappa. Plasma still has a wonderful lead in this race. We'll be in go mode here probably in about 2 minutes, if that. With Ace Zero sadly still behind because he never finished Palace of Darkness. Since this is an Ice Rod required seed, he's going to need to go back and beat up that Helmosaur spot to make sure he can actually finish it. And using the Bombo strats there to get rid of those little Pin Gator wannabes. Smacking that wall, wake up these little Freezors, and get rewarded with a key. And smart move heading back up, because this is going to go ahead and let you move over to the right side without having to go through the long, winding road. This will also give him his Quake much earlier, so he can go ahead and just forget everything else and go straight over to Cold Stare. Julo Ninja, though, taking down that Vanilla Landmo, getting his Desert Palace Crystal. Now, the only thing left is to go ahead and check out Ice Palace. So he's going to head on down and join Plasma Kappa. Meanwhile, Ace still going through the back of Swamp here to make sure he can actually complete the seed. Gonna be surprised to see a Vanilla Argus, but with that tempered, it's gonna be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And indeed, he's got that Quake, so Plasma Kappa at a time of 1:33:40 is in go mode. All he has to do is head on down to the Cold Stare boss arena, fight that weird Trinex that's deciding to sit there in the cold, frigid darkness, and then make his way over to Misery Mire. So it's only a matter of time before we get to a finish line, so to speak. While we're having our racers finishing up their respective dungeons. Yeah, making a very good point. Why do you even need an ice rod for a Trinex that resides in ice? You'd think he'd only need flame. Silly, silly, silly little boy. Oof. Plasma not quite getting it. Gets wall mastered. This is the only problem with Enemizer, unfortunately. You run into a place like that and it's like, whoopsie! And if you guys were enjoying this wonderful, wonderful seed and want to go ahead and experience it yourself, please feel free to go ahead and check out the Link to the Past Randomizer website and give it a try. It is really fun to play. The community is super welcoming. And if you need any help, feel free to join the Discord. We're always welcoming new people, and heck, that's how I ended up getting into the game myself. So feel free to join. You know, if I could do it, anybody can do it. If you're also interested in a lot more randomizer seeds just to watch, we do have the Link to the Past Randomizer League going through for the next few weeks. We are in week 2, which is Ambrosia Week. Basically meaning you start off the standard mode with a sword, get told where boots are, and every boss is guaranteed to have an item. Not a dungeon item, but an actual item, unique or otherwise. We've got 64 teams with a bunch of different runners of varying skill sets. So if you guys would like to go ahead and check that out, check out our Speed Gaming Prime channel, as well as Speed Gaming's 2 through 6. Give them a follow, and we will go ahead and show you the best of the best when it comes to these awesome league races. Oh, and thank you to our tracker, Irritable Penguin, for pointing that out. We also have the ALTTPR League channels 2 through 4, as well as the Prime. So be sure to check that out for any that are not being restreamed on our Speed Gaming channels. And yeah, since it has been pointed out, I am actually going to be racing tomorrow, so that will more than likely be restreamed. If you guys want to see that silly nonsense, be sure to tune in. I believe it's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. Go ahead and root for me, laugh at me, whichever you prefer. I'll probably lose, but that's okay. Here we go. Plasma finally making his way to the boss. Gonna be fighting that Trinex, and we'll be taking him down. Just there you go. Get that Wall Master out of the way. Alright, that's one head down. That butter melts everything. That's 2 heads down. Gotta avoid that first one, and as soon as that shell is gone, we will spin slash our way to victory. And bada bing! Alright, we've got Ice Palace finished. That is going to be our 6th crystal. So Plasma is on his way to victory. He just has to flute over to Misery Mire, pop in, get that big key in its vanilla location, and then mosey on back to fight our Moldorm slime. And with that, we should be good to go ahead and climb up to GT. So, Plasma having the definitive lead here, at least by, I'd say, 3-4 minutes on Jula Ninja. As soon as Ace and Frostbite find that Ice Rod, though, they will also be in go mode. Both Ace and Frost, having dipped Ice Palace prior, know exactly what is down there. So all I have to do is run straight to the boss and beat him. Unfortunately, Ace Zero is still lacking in a couple of dungeons. He still needs to finish Pod and Skull Woods before he can get that Ice Rod. And Frostbite taking down his 6th crystal as well. Needs to go to Skull Woods. Go to Skull Woods! Everybody chanted with me. Skull Woods. Skull Woods. I mean, you don't have to. That'd just be silly. Julo Ninja not even bothering to go in the left side for the Freezor room. He's going to go ahead and head around the back and find that Quake here in a few minutes, most likely 1 or 2. 8-0, still not going in the right direction, going with the Smith chain. Needs to finish up Pod and Skull Woods. Those are the only things left. He needs to go. He needs it. Now, just to be fair, this is not a bad decision. Clearing a pendant dungeon is not necessarily a good idea, but this just so happens to be the one shot in a lot that, hey, you got something on Ped, you kind of need it. And there we go, Jula Ninja finding that Quake finally is in go mode at 141 and loose change, dropping that little bomb to pay respects to that wonderful chest. Plasma Kappa finding the small key up top, realizing that the big key is going to be right down here. The key layout is very fun in the sense that as long as you get a small key in that first chest up there, it will guarantee a big key in the vanilla location. So for all those runners out there, if you happen to see that small key in that exact location, be sure to do the cutscene chest. And thankfully for us, Frostbite is falling in there to fight our wonderful Armos Knights. He will be getting that last pendant and pull Ped, hopefully pick up that Ice Rod instead of deciding to go elsewhere. We'll see what happens. Plasma picking up his big key and finds out he is ready to go back. And for Julo Ninja, thankfully avoiding that Wall Master does not get grabbed like Plasma did. He's got to be real careful because that thing likes to respawn, and if he... oh, okay, there he goes. Whew. That's the one thing you want to avoid. You can still get one shot, or 1.0'd, in which case, as you're falling, that thing will grab you and just drag you back to the gates of heck. So, over on Frostbite's side, he did finish off that Armos fight, gets rewarded with the final pendant, decides to go back in, thinking, you know, it might be here, so why bother pulling Ped? I mean, come on, it's not like it's gonna be anything. I mean, come on. Alright, Julo Ninja taking down that Trinex, getting his 6th crystal. Gonna be following Plasma Kappa here shortly. Plasma zipping on. I'm gonna go ahead and find our slimy Moldworm and take him out with Butter. Butter is excellent in every boss fight. You just need a dash and a swipe, and that Moldworm is down. And thankfully, Frostbite is pulling this Ped. He will be rewarded with his Ice Rod. Let's see if we get a couple of Rage Slashes. Nope, he's surprisingly calm with that. No time for Raid Slashes. He's in go mode at 144 on... or 143.55. Thank you very much for that, the third X. So now he is off to Ice Palace to finish his last one. And guess what? Plasma Kappa has gotten his 7th and final crystal. Y'all know what that means. Unfortunately, we don't have a bot for it, but take a guess between the numbers of 1 and 22, and we shall see where the GT Big Key will be hiding. For those that are not aware, we have this wonderful guessing game called the GT Big Key Guessing Game, as you can tell by all the random words I'm saying. It has one of 22 locations that it can actually be in, somewhere in that basement. Sadly, the only reward is bragging rights and the respect of all your peers, but that's truly the best reward of all. So slap those guesses in. Once we get into GT, we shall cut off all guesses, and first one to guess the correct number will win today's wonderful prize of love and affection from everyone in the room. And he is making it quick, so be sure to get your guesses in. And just as suspected, Frostbite is not even paying heed to anything else. He is just going straight down to the boss. Ooh, Ace finally reading that ped, finding, hey, guess what? I'm an Ice Rod! So he now knows what he needs to do. He's going to go ahead and murder that Armos Knight gang, as it was, and head back to Pod to go ahead and collect his other pendant. Alright, and with that, the guessing game has come to a close. No more guesses will be available. We are heading over to the Hope Room. Plasma picking up the first one, 3 bombs. Second is a map. Sadly, nowhere to go from the right, so we're heading to the left. We're gonna see Torch, and that will be number 3 coming up. It's more bombs! We're gonna go ahead and skip that, so Mr. Wonderful Bob gets to live. We don't need to murder poor Bob. Bob goes through enough. He needs some rest. Coming up into our wonderful, scary, spooky skeleton room, which unfortunately doesn't have scaries or spookies. But number 4 is our big key. So, hot diggity daffodil, we got ourselves a super early one. Let's go ahead and see who guessed number 4, or the closest to it. Let's see, the closest one was PTG Mock. Well, if we go Price is Right rules, we'll say it's a tie between Rain Prowler and PTG Mock. Good job, you two, for guessing the closest to number 4. Once again, you don't win anything, but you can brag to all the people on the internet that you got it right. Or at least got close. Alright, Frostbite, 3030, picking up his final crystal as well, so he is going to go ahead and make his way to the tower, joining Plasma Kappa here shortly, while Plasma is making his way up the gauntlet. Butter is going to make this so easy, he won't have to worry about a thing. This is the fun part about dealing with the Gauntlet in Enemizer. The Gauntlet counts all enemies, including the ones that were unbeatable before, so instead of that room having 2, you've got to kill 4. That's no fun. Unfortunately, we did not get our Trinex, but we did get our Helmosaur, so that is a plus. This is our first Helmosaur boss, and this is going to be excruciatingly laggy, so enjoy the minute of... And Julo is making his way over to the Slime Moldorm. 1 slash, 2 slash. And Julo Ninja will also be getting his 7th crystal and joining Frostbite on the climb up the tower. Plasma taking care of Helma in the Moldorm 2 spot, waiting for that wonderful, wonderful slow death. He's going to be making his way up the rest of the tower. Ooh, that's another fun one. Thankfully, he's got arrows, so... Whoops! Alright, let's try that again. Thankfully, he's got arrows. So, he can actually kill those things if he needs to. Dashing on away, and... Ooh, that's an easy one. Let's come over, slash, slash, slash. Flash. Whoop, missed it. And there you go. And he's good. Oofa. Yeah, it's always fun being stopped right in the middle of a dash. Alright, he's gonna go ahead and light these torches. 1, 2, 3. Get the 4th one. Thankfully with that half magic... Whoops! Kinda need to go upward there, Plasma. It's okay. Half magic means he doesn't have to waste any time picking up that full refill. He's just gonna pop over, hit these next few ones, and then mosey over to the next room. Ace finally picking up that pendant off of our wonderful, wonderful blind and Helmasaur spot. So now he has all the pendant dungeons. He can fly on back over to the pedestal and get his ice rod, and then be joining the rest of our runners into the GT climb. While Frostbite picks up his big key and is going to start the gauntlet, while Julo Ninja is just about to catch up to him. So the race here is between Frostbite and Julo. Who is going to get there first? If Frostbite's execution is not on point, or if he makes a death, well, takes a death, Julo is going to catch up. And same with Plasma. Everyone is basically tier stepping just in front of everyone, so one death can set them behind. Unfortunately, we have ourselves the worst boss imaginable for this spot. And as you can see by the disembodied legs over on the one side, this game does some pretty weird things when Helmasaur is this boss up here. It's best not to think about the disembodied legs. It really is. Just say to yourself that everything is normal, everything is calm, everything's okay. This is all good, there's no problem. Ignore the man behind the curtain. And thankfully Plasma takes down the worst boss imaginable. Let's see if he hovers. Oh. Oh well. Alright, so, definitely a wise thing. Now, most people will be like, why bother picking up this chest? You've already got butter. That chest, when opened, assures you, you don't have to fight that dude again. If he somehow dies to Aga 2, he has to do the whole climb again and kill that Helmasaur. Since he's got that chest opened, it stays there forever. So, in the unlikely event that he loses to this Aga 1 fight, you don't have to worry about it. That is a perfect name from one of our trackers, Irritable Penguin. That is now known as the insurance policy. Ooh, these Aga setups are just not being kind at all. But he gets it. Alright, Aga 2 is down for Plasma Kappa. So now all he has to do is fly over the big pig, swipe him a couple of times with the gold sword of power, and get ready for some awesome spin slashes. We'll also get to find out from Ganon himself where those silver arrows are. My guess, I'm gonna say... I'm gonna say it's gonna be in GT. Most likely in the basement. And our wonderful tracker, the Third X, also pointing out that with the Butter Sword, you don't technically need to Spin Slash to damage him in the 4th phase. However, unless you're not masochistic and have the timing of a god, you do want to spin slash because it is pixel perfect. There is only one small frame where you can actually hit him, and it's much easier to just spin slash. So, well, 2 frames. Thank you. If you want to challenge yourself, feel free to go ahead and just slash. If you want to be sane, just spin slash. Do yourself a favor. Alright, that is the last swipe for Ganon. Where are those silver arrows? In his tower, of course. Why wouldn't they be? And smart move, getting that torch glitch. Does not want to mess around with that. Gets the first out of 12 spin slashes. That's 2 out of the way. Setting up for the 3 count, but doesn't get really good positioning. There's a nifty thing that if you hold your sword out and do exactly what he did, you can get 3 in each cycle. This will save a little bit of time. So there's 3. If he can set it up correctly, he can do another. There we go. Okay. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Alright, so we are at 8 hits altogether, so 4 more for Plasma Kappa to take this win. That's number 9. Here is number 10. Coming up with number 11. So who's going to light that torch one more time. And this should be the final strike for the Big Pig. And he is down, as long as Plasma does not goof and walk off this bridge into the dark abyss below. We will have our first winner on the restream. So slap them GGs in chat. For Plasma Kappa, gonna be finishing the race, first place on restream with an SRL time of 1:56:19. Not only first on the restream, but first overall, improving their personal best by 11 minutes and 19 seconds. Comment, help proceed. And speaking of racers, we are welcomed by Plasma Kappa himself. GG's, good sir.
GG's.
Oh man, this is one heck of a seed, I gotta say.
Yes.
So, when you saw the check on pedestal, how happy were you to see that it was Ice Rod of all things?
I was like, oh well, I guess I have to get this. And then halfway to home, I was like, wait, maybe I don't have to get this. Then I remembered it was full boss shuffle, not chaos boss shuffle. And it's like, oh yeah, I probably have to get this.
Yeah, I mean, there is a world out there where Trinex was in the basement of GT. Unfortunately, it just wasn't this one. I gotta say though, the routing was really good for the most part. I mean, it shows since you got first place overall. But how did you feel orphaning those Titans mitts for so long?
I was like, oh, I obviously expected something out of Desert or Pre-Image Fairy. I'm like, okay then. I still just check all the stuff I didn't check, and I only remembered I hadn't even done Escape when I was halfway to Steve's Town. And it's like, well, I'm gonna have to check it anyway. And then I'll go to Escape.
Yeah, better late than never, that's for sure.
And it's like, okay, hey, here are the mitts, let's not even get Zelda Style, who needs that?
Exactly. Thankfully, it wasn't anything of use. I mean, if it were silvers, that would just be a kick in the rear, but seeing as how they're more than likely locked further in the basement, no one's going to be getting them. Those are going to be sitting there forever in the basement there.
Pretty much, yeah.
But other than that, the Titans Myth snafu, I gotta say, the routing was actually on point. It put you into a really good situation to find all the necessary items just at the right point, so that way you didn't really have to double dip much. Unfortunately, there was that bit into Thieves Town just for that last item, but again, when you get down to just one item for go mode, you just gotta check everywhere.
Well, yeah. That was a very common skip in Enemizer, so it was and it was further along, and so I thought it was worth going for.
And as far as Enemizer settings go, I gotta say, this seed was actually quite generous with the actual enemy placement. I mean, it didn't give you much in the way of brick walls. It didn't give you, full rooms of crystal rollers and spikes early on.
Except for that last room of ice. Screw that room.
Well, at least at that point you had Cane and Cape, so you could get through it easier. It's just never fun to try and weasel your way through, as it were. Oh, but we're going to take a moment to go ahead and congratulate Frostbite 3030. He has taken down the Big Pig and is going to go ahead and cross that bridge here in just a few seconds, finishing second place on the restream and second overall with an SRL time of 2 hours and 19 seconds. So slap those GGs in chat for Frostbite. Looks like Jillo Ninja is actually going to be following just short behind. More than likely going to be seeing this in about, I'd say 30, 40 seconds. So we'll go ahead and slap another GG in there for him. But while we're waiting on Frostbite to go ahead and join us, was there anything in particular about the seed that you liked, aside from, like, other Enemizers, so to speak?
Well...
Do you typically try to stay away from Enemizer for the most part, or is this one that you actually enjoy doing?
I mean, I like all the weird modes. I'll do any weird mode you put on, so fine with Enemizer.
That's one I'd actually prefer. Unfortunately, I had to go ahead and be the respectable fellow and help commentate, but yeah, it's more enjoyable to watch people suffer. Anyway, we're welcomed by Frostbite 3030. GG's, my friend.
Yo, GG's, Kappa. Thanks, bro.
GG's.
Oh, man, that Ice Palace was ridiculously awful.
I was wondering, thankfully for Kappa, he didn't double dip that. He was able to go ahead and read PED super early, so he knew what it was.
Well, I didn't double dip it on purpose. I got picked up by the hand in the room right before Trinex, and I didn't know that Trinex was the boss. So I went all the way back in through the dungeon the second time, and then I got picked up, went right back in. It was Trinex. I'm like, great. I'm gonna end up full clearing Ice Palace 3 times in this seed. So that was my biggest problem. Yeah.
I got picked up by the hand too.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Gotta love Enemizer. We're gonna go ahead and pop in real quick. Jillo Ninja did in fact finish that Ganon fight. He placed third on the restream and third overall with a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 34 seconds. So again, slap those GGs in chat.
Yeah, I'm not even sure reading the PED would have saved me all that much time. I guess I wouldn't have done, I might not have done Hair Basement, I guess, but I don't know. I guess I could have skipped some things in TR maybe too, but because of where Canis Samaria was, I don't know how I would have, I just don't know how I would have got the PED and got that if I'd read it early. I think it still would have been a slow, which is why he didn't finish at 140, obviously, which is, I mean, theoretically possible in a PED seed with this, but the Trinex, I can't imagine anybody got Ice Palace in one trip.
Funny enough, I believe, I want to say it was either Ace or Julo, one of those two, I believe, did.
Wow.
Quake was their go mode.
Yeah, Quake was my go mode too.
Oh, that's right, Plasma, you also just single dipped Ice, didn't you?
Yes.
So, unfortunately for you, Frostbite, you're the only one that had to go in and double dip it.
Well, I guess if you read the PED, it's different. I guess, I don't know, man. I would always take the gamble that I don't need the Ice Rod, to be honest, until I ran into the Ice Rod.
Oh, actually, I take that back. Just to set you at ease, it was you and Ace that ended up doing the double dip. Julo and Plasma the ones that did the single.
That's fair. I just, even if I knew the Ice Rod was there, I would have not gotten it before I had gone into Ice Palace, so it wouldn't have mattered, really. I mean, you can. I actually didn't know what the rule set was, so maybe there was guaranteed to be a Trinex in the seed, but that would have helped maybe knowing those. But
yeah, there was one guaranteed. We were just hoping it would be the one, in Basement of GT. But hey, we are welcomed by Julo Ninja. GG's, my friend.
GG's.
GG's.
boosting me a spot.
We were wondering about that. We saw that you started out with a Cane of Burna, which was great because that's a fantastic item. Unfortunately, you only had like a fifth of your magic bar left, so it didn't quite last as long as we had hoped.
Well, I said in IRC that I'd do Boomerang Armos if Armos came up.
And you are indeed a man of your word, so you got swag points, that's for sure.
The Boomerang Armos and the Swamp and the Skull Woods one is kind of effective to some extent because you just end up bashing them off the spikes and they take a bunch of damage. So, but yeah, that fight sucks.
That happens except when they scroll off screen.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
then
fun.
Come
Yeah,
back.
teleport and then kill you. Yeah. That's always fun. Yeah, that boss, like honestly, that's the worst boss room by far. I feel like. You always run into Vitreous at the top of Harrods, because Vitreous or Helmet Thorn, those fights kind of suck. But that that Skullwoods room, you get a bunch of bosses in there, and it's no fun. Argus is terrible in that room. I mean, Cold Stare's not that bad. Vitreous is awful in that room. Like, I don't know. It's the only bad room. Which is why I put it off for so long, really.
And speaking of bad rooms for bad bosses, how do you guys enjoy that Moldorm 2 boss?
Man, it's always there, so I'm not too worried by that.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
I just hope I have enough bombs to throw bombs for the first phase, and that's usually what I go with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got me once, but had enough bombs.
Yeah, because if I go with the hammer, like it's almost 100% certainty that I'm gonna get bonked off. So.
And unfortunately, we didn't have P-Train on Restream or in the race at all, so we didn't get to see a hover. So. Yeah.
It's a pretty good hover boss too. He can't really get you, unlike some of them. But yeah, no, it was a dumb seed. Obviously, Ice Rod Pet is just stupid. So I mean.
Well, it definitely was entertaining for everyone else. All the
I had more
really enjoyed
problems
it.
with Quake than Ice Rod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the logic of the seed was just not kind to you guys at all.
I mean, I thought about doing ice before going to TR, but it's like, when is there ever an item in ice? I'll just go to TR.
And yeah, it wasn't pendant, so of course that logic wouldn't be standing. I mean, ice, crystal ice, never. But I gotta say, GG's to everyone that was running here. Enemizer, it's one of those weird seeds where it's either going to be super kind to you or just a major pain in the butt. And it looked like this one was, thankfully, the former.
Yeah, this seed wasn't difficult at all. I don't think I took any deaths. The only thing that got me was the hand in Ice Palace, and the only reason I got hit by the hand is because I was focusing on the stupid anti-fairy, which was trying to kill me. And trying to get my powder out in time.
Speaking of that hand, that was like a pixel away from grabbing me out of the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to pick up the rock and was not paying attention.
Yeah, that's same with me. I was pulling the statue and I wasn't paying attention. It's classic though, honestly. It's a rookie mistake. I mean, even though neither Kappa nor I are rookies by any stretch, but you really got to count the number of enemies that spawn in that room, and if it's not the right number, which I think is 6, you have to assume it's a hand and not like it could be a Stalfos or one of those things that pops out of the ground or whatever. But I think your best bet is to assume it's a hand and be cautious. The other thing is that I didn't have my headphones on, so after I got picked up, I was like, oh, this is stupid.
Word to the wise, folks. Play with your headphones.
Yeah. Well, I had them on for most of it, but I was doing something. I was busy as well, so yelling at someone. But yeah, it was dumb.
Well, not to interrupt, but we do want to go ahead and slap one more GG in chat for 80187, finishing up 4th place on the restream. And sadly, SRL kicked me out, so I can't see what place he got. But anyway,
4th as well overall.
Perfect. Wait, were there only 4 people running?
Basically, I mean, Enemizer I don't think is too popular, so I think there was 7, maybe 8.
6.
Yeah, 6. So we still got what, Matcap and
Matt the Ogre, I want to say. Yeah.
Nice. So they'll be finishing up here shortly. But anyway, we've got Ace Zero popping into our wonderful Discord. GG's, my friend.
Thanks. GG.
GG's.
GG's, Ace.
Jeez.
Yeah, we were all lamenting about the Quake placement in the Ice Rod and how silly Enemizer is in general, but how did you like that seed, Ace?
It was all right. The Enemizer was really pretty easy, mostly just because it gave us so much firepower early on, which was kind of nice. Obviously, yeah, a lot of trolley item placements, the Cane of Samaria and Spike Cave, and the Quake over in Swamp, and Ice Rod on Ped. There was enough really out of the way items that made it feel like, even though I last location to the Ice Rod, basically, it didn't really seem like that was the problem that hurt me, or any of those particular plays. The Mitts was actually the only one that I felt really bad about.
Oh yeah.
Got my Mitts from front of escape at essentially the last location. I had Bumper Ledge, and I had one other thing that was I had Helmasaur, or not Helmasaur, but Pod Boss.
Yeah, that was when we saw you guys pick up the hammer. Unfortunately for both you and Plasma, you guys ended up getting the hammer and the power glove off of the Death Mountain area first before going to the front of escape. So you got your Dark World access right there, where Julo and Frostbite ended up getting Titan's Mitts as theirs.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, like, you go to Pod earlier if you didn't have the mitts, because I basically last located the boots, which was awful feeling, like always, especially when I obviously didn't last locate them because I don't even think they were required for anything other than desert, but it just felt really bad going into Pod super late, and then I was at least happy I killed the boss. I was super frustrated after doing Ice Palace twice in a row and not completing it too, but no, the glove and escape I got I knew was mitts, so I was very aware of the fact that I was going to find a glove pretty soon, so I wasn't the least bit surprised to find it on the old man, but I was very surprised to see the hammer just sitting in Paradox Cave, is that what that cave is called? And then the mirror and hookshot cave. I thought I was doing pretty well, but then that just obviously didn't continue after that.
See, you mentioned going in your boots late from Pod. The problem with me, though, is that I wasn't able to finish Pod my first trip because I did it early. Without mitts, I couldn't get the mirror, and it was going to be a very slow death warp with all the easy enemies in the dark maze, and I didn't have a mirror, so I just saved and quit and came back.
I somehow ended up on 2 heart at the end, which, I can actually end myself in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I think the dark maze had 2 or 3 chickens.
Yeah, there was a ghost in there though.
Yeah, there was one of those shades or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, when I found the hammer off East Death Mountain, I saw it already at the Pearl, so I skipped out on here for a few years. And I was like, oh, I don't have the Pearl. Let's go and check the water.
That's always a fun one.
I did Hera immediately, and I felt bad about it up until Ped was required, and I thought that was fortunate that I didn't have to go back up for an 8th trip up the mountain or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, I was really suspicious that Ped was required when I pulled it because I figured someone would have been done if it wasn't Ped. If the answer was Ice Rod Cave, which was the only other... I had Skull Woods, I had Ice Rod Cave, and that's it. So, I had the one item in the basement of Thieves Town that I abandoned as well. And I figured if it's either of those items, someone would have finished well sub 140, I feel, because it was pretty good otherwise. But having to do all the pendant dungeons adds time, obviously. So, but I was pretty sure it was going to be Ped, and it wasn't going to be just sitting in the front of Skull. I guess I never got the second item in Skull Woods either. But I figured all of those items would have been, someone would have got it a lot earlier, and then not been double dipping ice like I did, or getting there earlier. So yeah, it was dumb Enemizer.
Still entertaining to watch, and we got to thank you guys for volunteering for restream. It's always a hoot to watch you guys end up racing.
Oh yeah, no problem. I actually learned something this race too. I didn't know that bosses could take spike damage from the spikes in Trinex's room. I realized that Cold Stare took damage from that and went down extra quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that
bunch
all
of-
bosses?
The bosses that take damage on all the spikes. So like I don't think Moth will because that's like sort of in his code. But
Right.
you can definitely bash Armos into spikes. You can bash Coldstare into spikes. I think you can bash the Argus final phase into spikes as well. But yeah, it's definitely something you want to be cognizant of, specifically in the Skull Woods room. I feel maybe less so in this, but when you get like damage shuffle on and you drop in and like you get Armos and they're doing 1,000,000 damage, you really want to try and take advantage of the spikes. Or same with Coldstare.
Okay, good to know.
Well, any last words that you want to go ahead and say to your adoring fans here?
Yeah. I mean, I got their pet dream, I guess. Sorry it wasn't an Agaseed.
there was a lot of pet hype, so everyone appreciated that.
Yeah.
I believed. My belief paid off.
No, just thanks for having me on Restream. Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
everybody.
Exactly.
Thanks for the comms and tracker for all your work.
Thanks for all the work.
It's always a pleasure. And thanks again, you four, for running. And everyone watching, we appreciate you taking the time to enjoy the wonderful race that Speed Gaming puts on. Please be sure to give a follow to these wonderful runners: Julo Ninja, Plasma Kappa, Frostbite 3030, and Ace0187. Again, as well as our wonderful trackers, the Third X and Irritable Penguin. And be sure to go ahead and check out some of our other streams that we've got going on right now. Over on the Speed Gaming Prime channel, we've got a Link to the Past Randomizer League race going on between Ravis and Divisions, however you pronounce his name, and currently playing an Ambrosia Seed. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, go ahead and hop on over. And with that, we'll go ahead and just wrap things up. So thanks again for joining, everybody. We'll see you all in the next time.